voltage drop. What is the meaning of voltage drop? It's how much the voltage decrease in a segment of a conductor. Why? Probably because of the load is too heavy, the consumption of amps in the load is too much, and the voltage decrease from this point into this point. What is the meaning of 3%? It's 3% of a, if the volt is 12 volts, is 12 times 3%. How much is 12 times 3%? It's 12 times 0.03. And this is 0.36. The voltage drop. How much is the 20% of 80? Is 80 times 0.2. Okay, now that value in circular mills, with that value you use this table. I have an example. We are going to follow the example. Alright, if the voltage drop is 3%, we are going to use the following formula recommended by ABYC to calculate the size of the gauge of the wire. Okay, the formula says that the area in circular mills should be equal to 10.75 times the intensity times the total length and divided by 3% of 12, 0.36. Alright, for example, this is a typical example. I have a bilge pump. The bilge pump, let me explain something. This is the diameter of the wires, and this is the number. The smaller is 18, 16, and the big ones are number 6, number 2, number 0. Okay, when the number increase, the diameter decrease, right? To use the table of ABYC, we have on top the length, the total length, back and forward. On the left, in the column, you have the amps, 5 amps, 10, 15, 20, 35, 40, 60, 80, 100. The amps here and the total length over there. I have the total length and I have the amps. This is the gauge of the wire. It's too simple. This table, this is exactly the same table that you have on the screen right now, is for 3% of voltage drop, 12 volts here and 24 in the bottom. And this one is for 10% of voltage drop, for 12 volts and 24. Okay, on top you found the distance in feet. In this column, you have the intensity in amps. According with the intensity and the distance, you found it, the gauge. In DC installation, we are going to use for positive the color red color, and for negative black. Alright, but black have a little inconvenience with respect to the AC power. Let me explain what is the meaning of that. Alright, the green color for the wire will be used only exclusive for bonding system. Bonding is the connection of all the metallic parts together in one central conductor, and that conductor with the zinc outside. This is the bonding conductor, and we are going to use that bonding conductor green color. Okay, in the future, yellow or black will be used for ground DC. The red will be used in the future for the main power DC. Alright, we are going to use the yellow with red for the signal. The signal for the start motor is according with the gauge, how much amps you can move. This is important. In the future, for a gauge number 2, you can move 95 amps. For a gauge number 4, 70 amps. For a gauge number 6, 55 amps. For a gauge 16, only 10 amps. For a gauge 14, maximum 15 amps. For a gauge 12, maximum 20 amps. For a gauge 10, 30 amps. I need that you memorize this table. This is your homework. Memorize according with the gauge how many amps. the same like the color codes. Memorize the color codes and memorize according with the gauge how much amps can I move on that cable. This is a very, very important information.